one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it, because you can.
Hey guys, we're leaving tomorrow morning. We're going to go on a cruise. Me and the wife and I are going on a cruise. I'm going to take you on my cruise. I'm going to make videos while I'm there. I'm going to take you on my journey. I do have editorials lined up through Thursday. We'll see if I can upload them, see what kind of data or Wi-Fi I have. I'll try. But if there's no editorial in the morning this week, it's because I'm out at sea. Hey, 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 hey. But I'm going to do my best to continue giving you content. Well, today's story comes to us from Axios.com. Investigations into the killings of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy would likely proceed differently if a local police officer instead of DHS agents had pulled the trigger. Why does that matter? Well, a local police shooting usually initiates a multi-agency investigation and the threat of prosecution. DHS agents and shootings, however, are handled almost entirely inside the federal government, where accountability is far harder to reach because it's the government. Officials at Chicago's Fraternal Order of Police and Police Department declined Axios' request to comment on the discrepancy, but former Chicago Police Department Chief Gary McCarthy tackled it head-on in a Fox 32 interview. He said no municipal police department in this country would do the things that DHS agents are doing and not expect blowback. McCarthy, who led the Chicago Police Department from 2011 to 2015, he was also police chief in Newark, New Jersey, decried federal agents' practices of shooting pepper balls, tear gas, and throwing people to the ground. He said, you don't stand in front of vehicles or shoot into moving vehicles because if you happen to get that 1 in a million kill shot, you have a 2,000-pound bullet riding down the street, which is exactly what we saw in Minnesota. Poor tactics, poor policy, said McCarthy. Now, McCarthy said he remains okay with the mission of ICE and Border Patrol and criticizes local politicians for what he sees as encouraging people to resist the law. He said, it is illegal in almost every state in this nation to resist arrest, even if it's an unlawful or an illegal arrest, he said. He said, you can get arrested for a robbery, get acquitted, and still get convicted of resisting arrest. Yet we have elected officials and signs saying resist, resist. Now, between the lines, ICE is a relatively young federal agency created after the 9/11 attacks with fewer guardrails and hasn't faced the number of court challenges that forced other agencies to rein in their officers. That's unlikely to change under the Trump administration because his administration has halted all Department of Justice pattern or practice investigations into police departments accused of excessive force and likely won't launch one into ICE despite a spike in shootings. At least 12 DHS agents involved shootings, 4 fatal, including Severio Villegas Gonzalez in Franklin Park, have occurred since Trump sent DHS agents into cities in early 2025. An Axios analysis of publicly known ICE excessive force cases shows that before 2025, the agency had 1 agent shooting case per year on average, and sometimes the year there was none. So how Mayor Brandon Johnson's new executive order aimed at holding immigration agents accountable through a collaboration between the Chicago Police Department and the state's attorney's office will work in practice if and how Congress is able to attach DHS reforms to a spending bill which is now stalled on Capitol Hill. So I was trying to make it clear. I think that last part was a little confusing, or maybe just because I was reading, trying to think. Can't do that at the same time. I can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. But no, that last part. So the mayor has this thing he's trying to try out where he's working between the Chicago Police Department and the state's attorney's office to charge ICE agents or DHS agents who break the law, who commit, I guess, battery or assault or some other violation, or how that's going to work. California came up with the mask law. Remember and it's a law now. But the LAPD and them are saying, well, we're not going to charge federal aid. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go after federal agents that are masked. Of course, the LAPD police chief is about as, I don't want to say that. In my humble opinion, the Los Angeles Police Department police chief, McConnell, is suspect. For no lack of anything else, he's shady to me. That's a good word, shady. He really is. You ask him a question, and he answers it by sidestepping the question and giving you a bunch of gobbledygook. Frank Buckley of KTLA 5 News asked him about agents aiming and shooting at people on the sidewalk, and we've seen it on video. Los Angeles police officers. I seen an LAPD cop who's standing there and he goes like this and shoots this guy holding a camera. It was on video. But Frank Buckley, he asked the police chief McConnell about it, and he goes, "Well, we don't try to hit people, and we don't aim at people. We if you fire at someone that's going to do something in a crowd, obviously there's a crowd, somebody could get hit." And he sidestepped the question. Instead of saying, "Well, if I see it, I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to let my officers know that will be dealt with." He didn't answer it like that. He sidestepped it. "Well, I thought I was watching Charlie Brown again." You see. But I digress. But that's what we're running into here is these DHS agents and these ICE agents, they're getting away with stuff, and even former police chief McCarthy says, "You know what? Cops wouldn't get away with half the stuff they're doing." Psst. But he does agree with immigration. I do too. I'm gonna say why. Yes, this country was founded on bring us your poor, bring us your destitute. And I've said that before in arguments. But unfortunately, for some people, there are laws of the land. So in other words, you come here, you have to file for residency, whether it's legal permanent residency, what we call LPR card, or U.S. citizenship through naturalization of U.S. citizenship. And people are getting that all the time. I understand because I work with a couple of people from Mexico who explained it to me. They're legal residents, or they might be U.S. citizens by now, but they're here lawfully, but they were telling me how they went through the process, and they said it's a difficult process and it costs money. They said you got to do so much, and to be a legal permanent resident, and then to turn around and try to get U.S. citizenship, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible, you see. And so that's my point. Is in these people that say these undocumented immigrants who say, "Well, I've been here 32 years, I own a business, and they're going to deport me." 32 years, you couldn't, and you own a business, you couldn't do it in 32 years? You couldn't get like some type of work visa in 32 years to stay here? And so I kind of see where they're coming with. It's the law of the land, is what I'm saying. You might disagree with me, and that's fine. We'll talk about it. But my problem, like McCarthy, is that these agents are doing things, and the LAPD is doing things, and police officers are doing things, shooting at people who are just standing there with a camera, and they don't like being recorded, so they'll shoot a pepper ball at them. Why? Because they're assholes. That's what they do. But nothing's happening to them. It's like, oh, well. But if I shoot a pepper ball at somebody, I'm going to be arrested. Well, you're not a cop. Exactly. I have to follow the law. Cops? That's called immunity. But remember, qualified immunity in California was relaxed. That's right, under an appellate court decision. I don't know if it was an appeal, but a court decision, they relaxed qualified immunity. So you just may be sued, officer, and there ain't going to be no qualified immunity. Colorado did the same. They took away qualified immunity. So I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about all I've said. Hopefully you've been taking notes. But let me know what you think, guys. Happy Sunday, and I'm going to be cruising as of Monday morning. We're out. And have a great week, everybody.